If you want proof that your elected Neta has no regard for you or your safety, just turn to Parliament today, where the unthinkable happened. Instead of expelling Goon Gaikwad, the MPs, in particular Sena MPs, stood up to berate Air India, accusing it of dadagiri. Can you imagine? For them, the Neta is not a dada, not a gunda, but Air India is a dada and is a gunda. Can you imagine that? Where can that happen? Where does that happen? It happens here, in India's citadel of democracy, where your rights count for nothing. The rights of a hooligan are privileged. Listen to these sound bites.
हम सबका अधिकार है कि सदन की कार्रवाई में बैठक के लिए हम कोई भी चीज से आ सकते हैं। सिमन, एक एमपी के साथ एमपी के साथ कोई घटना घटी, सारी एयरलाइन।
No, that is a member of the house. Don't raise it here. The other house.
आपने एमपी
You only said that.
आप एमपी को बैन कर देंगे। सारी एयरलाइंस ने एमपी को बैन कर दिया। जब तक एमपी दोषी न पाया जाए, अगर दोषी पाया जाएगा तो आईपीसी के साथ कार्रवाई हो जाएगी, लेकिन आप
You give notice.
बैन कर देंगे। नहीं सर,
You give notice.
ये एयरलाइंस की दादा।
You can give notice.
सब एयरलाइंस एक साथ आकर उनको पूरा बैन कर देते हो ट्रैवलिंग के लिए। ये कौन सी दादागिरी है? ये कैसा चलेगा? आपके एयरलाइन से देशद्रोही, एंटी नेशनल, चोर, डकैत, देशद्रोही, करप्ट सब लोग ट्रैवल कर सकते हैं, लेकिन रविंद्र गायकवाड ट्रैवल नहीं करेंगे।
Yes, absolutely. That's what this MP has to say. So you can go around slapping people on airlines, but don't expect the airlines to stand up to you and tell you that you're wrong. Clearly, for these MPs, a man who allegedly picks up his slipper and whacks an officer of the airline 25 times is the victim, and the airline that stood up to the goon MP is the violator. But upfront, I want to tell you, and I am always upfront, that I am not surprised at all. Why? Because MPs and the parties they are drawn from are dependent on criminals to win them elections. So when there are so many criminal netas in party ranks, in legislators, in parliament, why will they call for action against a fellow criminal neta? Here are the hard facts that bear this conclusion that I have reached out in toto. A fifth of parliamentarians in the Lok Sabha have been booked for serious crimes. I'm not talking about petty crimes. I'm talking about serious crimes. Assault to murder, attempt to murder, rapes, crimes against women of the most reprehensible kind. Every 1 in 5 MP sitting in parliament has that kind of record. Do you think he's going to punish somebody else with a competing record? Or perhaps a notch lower? No. In Maharashtra, where Gaikwad comes from, 40% of all MLAs face serious charges ranging from murder, rioting, kidnapping and crime against women. Do you expect the culture of the Shiv Sena to condone at any level? To condone at any level an individual who stands up for justice against one of their own? No. Don't expect it with that kind of statistic. Hard fact 3, Gaikwad was allowed to contest by the Shiv Sena even when he had 9 criminal cases pending against him. They knew he was a criminal. So they are not going to now suddenly boot him out of the party because he's a criminal. Parties like the Samajwadi Party, who defended today, one of their MPs, Naresh Agarwal, defended Gaikwad, Goon Gaikwad. In fact, gave tickets to an alleged rapist, Prajapati. No wonder they are defending the rights of Gaikwad. Big questions go out tonight to our panelists. Joining me on the show, Vijay Krishnan, supporter of the Shiv Sena. From Chennai, also with us, Hussain Dalwai, MP of the Rajya Sabha, China NC spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Anuva Pal, screenwriter, playwright and novelist, Naveen Chomal, counsel for MP, and Bejon Misra, citizen voice. I want to first begin with some of the citizen voices. Anubhav Pal, what do you make of this? Air India is the goon. They are the dadas, not this hapless MP who found himself greatly disturbed because someone pointed him to the rule book.
Yeah, Rahul, I'm actually really surprised that a private enterprise like Air India, functioning on its own, does not have the right to say that if a person is going to hit its employee with a slipper X number of times,
yes,
we will not allow that person to travel. I think that's completely fair, right? I think if you run a restaurant and someone hits your waiter with the slipper 20 times, you have full right to say that person is not allowed in the restaurant. And every airline has a right to turn around and then say, we don't want such a person to travel, right? In any other country, that would have immediately led to arrest, right?
Exactly.
Misbehavior on an airline. Parliamentarians, instead of suggesting, I see their point of view where they're saying, okay, there should be the rule of law. But then there should be a rule of law, right? What we're seeing is they're jumping to the defense of one of their own, right? Saying, how can you stop him from flying? Other people who are criminals also fly. Of course they do. I'm sure they do. But no one is asking the basic question. If someone is slapping my employee with a slipper 12 times, am I supposed to be servile and serve him and allow him to use my airline? Like, that's a basic question. Would anyone running any enterprise allow that kind of behavior?
No, won't. So let's ask Hussain Dalwai. Hussain Dalwai, if I walked into your house tomorrow and slapped you with my slipper 25 times, would you invite me for dinner, sir? Would you say, come, let's have dinner tonight. Let's sit across, you be my guest,
No.
smoke my cigars, perhaps have a couple of peanuts. Let's have a nice civilized chat. I'm sure you do that because you're such a nice guy. Indian Airlines is not a nice guy.
See,
Dada, you see, Indian Airlines is a dada. They don't like this kind of behavior. But you do.
Rahul.
see, nobody will justify his act of hitting the employee. And certainly I won't justify it. But why he
What action are you
went,
taking?
to do these things, that one should understand. See, there is no business class, but he is given business class ticket.
Yeah,
This
so-
happens not only on that day, but last 1 month it is like that, and he is always requesting the Air India that you start one aircraft at least at 7 o'clock, which will reach Delhi by 9 o'clock.
So do you know,
that
I'm sorry to say,
we can,
Mr. Dalwai,
attend
do you
the-
know the number of times an Aam Aadmi, ordinary citizen, of course, I mean, for you, I suppose they don't matter. They're third grade. But nonetheless, let me just tell you, since you look upon rest of us from your lofty perches, how many times we are actually deprived of first class travel because some neta has decided to travel and they need to give him the seat. So they, either bump you off or they say, go back into cattle class because that's where you deserve to be. We don't get up and start smacking, employees with our slippers or our shoes. In your case, of course, it might be a Gucci shoe, so you might feel privileged. But I'm just saying, we don't whack them 25 times, Mr. Dalwai. And certainly then, we don't invite them to our house and say, come, let's have a good meal together. We've got so much in common and so much to talk about. Now, I'm asking you, sir, are you suggesting that MPs are children?
No, I'm not suggesting.
They're so
You have
petulant.
not allowed me to talk.
Their egos are so brittle that they will pick up a slipper and they will start hitting people because they're denied something?
That is wrong. And FIRS is registered. It will happen. The case will go on. I don't say that.
So then
that,
why are you
case should
grudging
be
poor
withdrawn.
Air India for the
Thing
first
is
time,
that-
sir? They have
thing-
stood up for the people.
See, just hear me. Why he was so arrogant? Why the employee Kumar was so arrogant to him?
What
He
proof
was
do you have?
shouting at him.
What proof
He
do you have,
was
Hussain
again and
Dalwai,
again
that
requesting
the
me.
employee was arrogant? The employee made the cardinal sin of telling a great Maharaja called the MP of this country, sir, we have some rules, please follow them. That's arrogance. Well, sir, you're a lawmaker. If that is arrogance, then God help this country. God help
I am
this,
not justifying his hitting
Mr.
or his
Bejon Mishra.
assault on the employee.
Poor,
But
hapless
you should
Mr.
not-
Gaikwad. He was ticked off by an employee. Can you imagine? Of a public sector company. Poor guy. How sad that
Rahul-
an MP is being ticked off.
You see, Rahul, Shiv Sena should realize the downside of nominating names of such criminal-minded people to lead the party and become leaders. You can see the downside. What has happened? You see, winning elections is not the end all and not the outcome of a good political system. You see, we were expecting Mr. Uddhav to immediately reprimand him, immediately tell him to apologize before the public, on the public domain, apologize to that Air India official. You see, the point which we are making is, as a passenger, he's a passenger, he's not an MP, he's a passenger. As a passenger, he has no right to take law in his own hands. He can complain to wherever possible in terms of any kind of misbehavior, in any kind of a deficiency in
Do you know who
service.
pays?
There are a number of processes in place.
Here is Anubhav Pal, here is a general knowledge question. Do you know who pays for an MP's ticket, Mr. Anubhav Pal?
I think we do, right? I think the taxpayers do, right?
That's right.
Yes.
You're almost sounding confused about it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you because we pay. We pay for these individuals to travel first class, and when they're denied, they turn on us. Can you imagine?
And then they take safety in their hands.
Rahul, I just want to bring up
They take the safety of the passengers. You imagine what must have been the plight of the passengers in that aircraft.
Had this gentleman, this Goon Gaikwad as we call him here, Goon Gaikwad done this anywhere else in the world, he would have been booked for hijacking because there is a very stringent code of conduct that has to be observed
Rahul,
under
may I
the
come in?
Aviation Act.
Rahul,
Now, I
sir,
just
please
want to
may I
open.
come
No,
in now?
Mr. Chomal. Now,
I'm very happy.
You relax.
You see, I'm very happy, Rahul. I'm very happy, Rahul, that all the airlines
to represent his case. But right now, I won't allow you to speak for another
Can I
5
make
minutes
one
because I want to speak to the gentleman.
Rahul, I'm very happy that all the airlines have come together.
9 criminal cases. This guy is a history cheater and professional goon by the looks of it. So for him, whacking someone with 25 with a chappal 25 times was just run of the mill. It was just business as usual. I just want to go across to Vijay Krishnan. We can gently smile about this today. It sounds so bizarre that we can't take this seriously. But I'll tell you something. And I want to bring in Vijay Krishnan. Mr. Vijay Krishnan, when a fifth of lawmakers face serious criminal charges, my sympathies are with you actually. Why would the Shiv Sena want to throw out somebody from their party for behaving like a criminal that he is actually certified to be because he is one? Because soon you lose all your other MLAs. What are you going to do? I don't blame you. I sympathize actually with Mr. Uddhav Thackeray. Poor guy. What a conundrum.
Let me say something. We're all one family in India, and we are one family, and there is nothing like one person superior to another. So this is the rule. So Shiv Sena condemns this despicable act. But what I am saying is, we are all signatories of international human rights. So just as a victim has certain human rights, right to life and dignity, and here our
What are you saying?
MP Ravindra.
Where is the right to life?
One second.
The
Our
right to
MP
dignity is that
Ravindra
of the
Gaikwad. One second, madam.
India
One second, madam.
staffer.
One second, madam.
But what are you saying? Get your facts correct. The dignity is
he
that
also
of the
he also
Air
has
India
he also
staffer.
has a right
Dignity of the member
to
of
freely
parliament,
move
but everyone has
and
seen in the
settle
public domain
anywhere
with his arrogance.
in India. So what what I opine is Air India
I
should
just
have
please
taken the
come in,
decision
Rahul?
to curtail the
come in.
movement of
He's talking utter
our
nonsense.
MP. Shaina
This
NC,
is
madam.
rubbish.
I've been stunned
What
into
rubbish
silence.
is he
Why don't you come
talking?
in? Explain
I
to.
mean, this is utter rubbish.
But you know,
Whose dignity? What dignity? Dignity isn't the dignity of an Air India staffer important. A person who's doing his or her
Madam,
job. That is
madam.
not dignity. Dignity
NC
is
madam.
only because he's an elected
Shaina NC, madam.
representative. I want to ask
I
you a
respect
question.
Mahatma
1
Modi
minute,
ji.
keep
I
quiet
respect
and listen to
BJP.
me.
I would like to ask
This
one
is not
question.
going to
Would you
be your
please recall the
system
word that
at
you,
Let me please
in the
ask you
earlier
a
debate,
question.
used
If there
used
is
fellow
an
because
inconvenience caused to
Narendra
the
Modi ji
people
is
on
our
that
MP. It is
flight
not your
and
MP
they
or
are
our
watching,
MP, and you called her MP.
Does it give
as
them the
fellow.
power also
And-
to pick up a
and the
chappal
list has
and
been
hit the
increased
MP?
by adding
If the
another
MP
word
thinks that
called
he has been
hooligan,
inconvenienced, takes
and
out
our
his
moderator
slipper
has
and hits a
pissqueak
staffer,
narcissist.
Rahul, please just tell him to keep quiet so I can ask him a simple question.
no, go ahead. Go ahead. Ask him a question.
I want to ask
want you
him
to-
a simple question. The member of parliament was inconvenienced. The member of parliament was wronged. He got angry, he lifted his chappal and started whacking the staffer and the Air India employee. The people on the flight were inconvenienced. They were wronged. They were made to wait for 1 hour. Should they also take out their chappals and hit the member of parliament for inconveniencing them? What are you talking? Dignity is that of the person who shows respect. First, learn how to respect people in public life.
No,
You are an
shocking.
elected
Not only that,
representative. Rather
not
than
only that.
apologizing for your wrong,
Rahul-
you're going back
No,
to
I want to open
Osmanabad
this out.
and shutting
Somal
down all the
Rahul-
shops.
No,
You're
Shaina
talking
NC,
about
look.
a band
No,
in your own
it's very
place
nice
to
tonight
show
to
that
give
this
us
is
this.
my clout
No,
and
no,
my
one second.
power.
Look, thank you
People
for
are
giving
not
us
No, Rahul,
people like
state
this.
revolution
People
is
will
But
be
Shaina
you.
NC
It will
among the
show
populace of
humility.
Osmanabad.
Shaina NC.
Learn the lesson of
Rahul,
humility.
that's fine.
Forward
But
voluntarily
Shaina NC, you
shutting
need to
down
explain
their
why
shops
your
today.
Rahul,
party-
let me
Everywhere
just relax.
rallies
Just
have
say
been
one
taken
sentence.
out
1 second,
in
Mr.
support of
Rahul, let me give you one
MP.
sentence.
Gentlemen, 1 second. Let me just bring in Shaina NC. Shaina NC, look, you know, it's wonderful that you have come out on the side of the Aam Aadmi. You know, we should be thankful. But some of your colleagues in Parliament, they sit on the ethics panel, but nothing has happened. This gentleman has not been summoned. In fact, this goon has not been summoned. I want to know why. What is your party so reticent about?
I'll tell you. Rahul, our party, if we didn't have the political will or the courage of conviction, you wouldn't have Mr. Raju and Mr. Jayant Sinha coming out on that day itself and filing 2 FIRs. You know that there can be lots of reasons not to file an FIR.
No,
the FIR was
we
filed for 2 cases. One is the inconvenience caused
No,
to
no,
the
no, no,
public that was made to wait for over an hour, and the second because of the assault on an Air India employee where
no,
the
so-
entire organization stood in solidarity.
It should not
with
be
somebody
cosmetic.
who's been
Throw
wronged.
this
Rahul, it
I
can't be
just want to make a
cosmetic.
simple point.
Throw
If
this-
he
Rahul,
has
it can't be
done
cosmetic.
wrong and he
Maybe you don't
realizes
want to.
he should
Anubhav
just
Pal, maybe they don't
apologize.
want to throw him
He
out.
is
Rahul,
not
it can't be
apologizing
cosmetic.
and
Slipper
going
and
back
start
to
thrashing everyone
Osmanabad
else.
and making sure that there is a bun there.
No, maybe Anubhav Pal, the reason they
Look
don't
at
want to
the
throw him out of
level.
parliament is because he might get so provoked. He might pick up his slipper and start thrashing all his colleagues. That might also happen.
Madam, one has been
Or maybe the
Rahul, I
people
just
on
have-
the flight who were inconvenienced
Band
could
has been
also pick up their
voluntarily
slipper and
No,
hit
but
the members of
Rahul-
parliament for causing inconvenience.
Rahul, I have one.
huge rallies have taken place.
Yeah.
In every
We know
nook
how
and
those
cranny
rallies.
of
Haven't you
Osmanabad,
seen?
there is a
Look,
revolution
Rahul,
brewing
Mr.
up against
Krishnan,
the
you're sitting in
inequities of Air India, against your MP.
Tony Chennai. I don't know if you've been to the backwaters of late, but we went and sent our correspondent to America, and we saw goons on bikes shouting, chanting the name of Mr. Gaikwad, asking people to lower their shutters because they wanted to manufacture outrage. Because no one actually gave a fig leaf about this individual's dignity. They said, we don't care, Mr. Gaikwad is wrong. So, to orchestrate the drama that people were outraged, his constituency supporters were outraged, these goons went and said, lower your shutters in protest. Let's observe half a day of protest. That's what happened. So,
Rahul, I just
Yeah.
want to bring up one point here.
Yes.
I think the argument that
It is one-sided. Whatever you are saying is a one-sided thing. It is not
Exactly,
correct.
exactly.
Mr. Dalwai, I don't know.
easy to
Are you
sing in
promoted by the
chorus.
Shiv Sena, sir?
You
Are you a
should be
Shiv Sena
impartial.
MP?
You see.
You're not. You're not even
are
supported by the
using
Shiv
words,
Sena.
Goons
Rahul,
and gundas
Rahul, may I come
then
in
what
now?
what you will use?
Rahul, let me
word
come.
for, CM of UP. What you will use word of for Amit Shah? He has criminal cases.
that.
So
can I
what is
just
the contradiction?
Restraint.
So what
We
is the
should not use
contradiction?
Such words.
I am actually saying that there are several MPs in Parliament that have criminal cases. In fact, they should all be booted out. You should not even be giving tickets. Do you think I'm bothered?
No, but that logic is also
But they are
wrong,
in
Rahul.
power now.
That logic is also wrong.
No. Why?
Please let
Just
me
because
come
they
in.
won an
Rahul,
election?
No, but
that
Rahul,
message of yours
They
is
won
also
legitimacy in
wrong.
I'm
the
not
people's
talking-
There's so
court.
many cases
I'm sorry, the
where
law is the law.
No, there are so many cases which are criminal in nature which could be political vendetta.
No.
Until proven
Ra-
is another story.
No, we
But
are
you
not
can make
denying that.
You can
Rahul,
ask them to clear
Amit
their
Shah
name
has
before you
another
actually
case
promote
against
their
him.
Rahul,
political
let's
careers.
not divert the topic.
Please
How you
tell me
say
now.
that?
divert the topic.
No.
That
I am sorry.
CM of
There was,
there was cases,
the
19
great
cases
example
are
of
there.
LK Advani. LK Advani
Let's
was...
not divert the
No,
topic.
1 second. LK Advani found himself in a very tight spot 3 decades ago when people alleged that he had a role in receiving kickbacks, etc., the Jain Hawala diaries. He stepped out of the ring. He said, I'll clear my name, I'll come back. And he did. But
Rahul,
today,
the
political
gravity of
propriety
that
has
particular
fallen
matter
to
was
such
should
a level
appreciate that.
that
Yes.
people don't... No,
But
people have
there are very
forgotten.
few.
See, these two incidents cannot be
one second.
compared. The gravity of that particular case
You
was
cannot
far more
compare
severe and
for
different.
Advani.
So,
You cannot
no,
come in,
no,
Rahul.
Chomal,
It's a serious
please.
case.
That's one point
It's a
I'd like to
serious
make.
He
case.
killed a man,
But
for
if
God's
it
sake.
is- No,
no,
Someone
no,
is
It's a
no,
serious
no,
case.
no, let us not
Seen it.
exaggerate it to that
Could have
extent.
killed him 25
There's no
times. The man
ifs and
It is a serious
buts.
case.
No,
He's
no.
Rubber slipper and
accepted.
whack
He
somebody.
himself has said, yes, I hit him 25 times.
25 times.
He has
Rahul,
accepted.
he's come on
himself
camera.
and said
To
it.
answer all
Like
these
he
questions.
said,
He's come on
you
camera
haven't
to say that.
convicted
Our
and
MP
yes, I
confessed
have
against
committed a
himself.
crime.
He
You
has-
haven't.
he
You need to
exaggerated
wait
the
till
events.
it's proven.
You say Rahul,
He did
the case
assault,
is
but he
registered against
exaggerated
him.
the events.
FRA is registered against him.
कैसे एक आदमी 25 मार
you
सकता
don't
है
take
आपको
one
वीडियो
side.
आप
You
वीडियो में
do-
देखिए जी. He also said that he tossed the air staffer and dashed him to the ground.
No, I have a
but
basic
nowhere such a
question.
footage
Lawmakers,
available.
and I want to
Whatever
bring in Anubhav
information I
Pal
know.
here.
Yeah, I
and
just
I want to
have-
bring in
Rahul,
Beja. One
Rahul,
second,
Rahul,
Mr.
watch
Anubhav
this, watch
Pal.
your own
Lawmakers take oath to serve the public by
Right.
siding with their own. Aren't they committing a breach
I
of
was
trust?
just coming to that.
Correct.
Simple
So
question.
I just have
I was
one
just coming to
sentence.
that.
Rahul, I just have one sentence.
I was
and
just
after
wanting to
which
come to that.
I just want to finish one sentence, sir. Just one quick sentence, which is that the big argument is how could all these airlines get together and ban this person from flying? He hasn't committed offences on other airlines. How could they do that? That's illegal. That is the counter argument which
This is very,
the
very
honourable member of parliament from Shiv Sena is making, right?
Yes.
Now, if airline's point of view is we're a private enterprise, if when another airline, a person is beaten, when violence happens, if we can't come together and ban someone, then when can we? Right? That is their only question.
Yes.
Right? That if this is not strong enough, then what is? Right? That
Yes, sir.
if-
Find a cure for the disease. Don't kill life.
What
Yes,
are you
sir.
saying?
Find a cure
The
for
cure
the
for the
disease.
disease
Don't
is,
kill
set an
life.
example, throw out the little saw that is scratching and gnawing at our sides, throw him out.
No, I think
Put him
I
in
need,
jail,
I need to
throw him
come in,
out
Rahul,
of the house, ban him
Rahul,
from
Rahul.
every airline till he
I think
realizes
Rahul,
that he
I
can't
think
just
I
pick
need
up
to
his slipper and
answer
start
the
whacking
question.
somebody
throwing
25
out is in
times.
the is under the purview
Rahul,
of the
as a
Delhi
lawyer, I
police.
need to
You
allow
are
me to
very
say that
all
here,
the
because
politicians
various
that they are
exaggerated allegations are being
criminal
thrown
and,
in.
they are,
No, what is
criminal,
exaggerated,
that is
Mr.
absolutely
Chomal?
wrong.
Yes, yes.
He has admitted to beating somebody with his slipper 25 times. It's
He
on
has
camera.
Let me come in. Let me
The
come in,
footage is
Rahul.
there.
Registered against
Rahul,
him.
can I get some chance to speak?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think I need to start with friends, anchor and panel men. Lend me the ear. Rahul, it is something like this, that human relations are very intricate, human interactions are very intricate. So we have to judge them in a very judicious manner. Nobody is justifying the violence. Incident taken place was wrong and it is prima facie wrong,
correct.
and we are maintaining it is wrong. But ultimately, what is the
Why
gravity
isn't he
of that
saying it's
particular
wrong?
wrong
Why isn't he
needs to be
apologizing?
understood. Shaina ji, I am not in dispute with the views of your personal views or the views you are representing. I am supporting them. But I am adding one more angle to it. That is a legal angle to it. Shaina ji, please bear with me. I didn't interrupt when you were saying something. Shaina ji, you had your more than ample chance to speak. Shaina ji, please, don't interrupt when I am speaking. Did I interrupt when you were talking? And I am not in dispute what you are saying.
Go ahead.
I am adding, thank you very much, madam. So now here the thing is, this particular member of parliament, okay, he hit that person, but what was simmering, we have to understand, and what was the flashpoint. This man was continuously agreed by a certain fact. No doubt he didn't have a laudable cause, but he was insisting, let some senior manager come, Had it been in some other airlines, they would have followed the norms of the hospitality industry. They would have handled this situation in a more polite manner. Here this man was ridiculed to a certain extent. That was the flashpoint. So ultimately, I am not justifying the violence.
Oh, come on, you are. When you make those arguments,
we have to understand what was the provocation.
He's a mature enough individual. He should have come out of the plane, filed a complaint.
Definitely, he has gone wrong.
He could have filed a complaint.
Yes, Rahul,
he could have reported the
I am not saying that
he felt so
he was justified in taking law into his own hands.
He could have waited. No, come on. You're talking about an MP. You're not talking about some, a person.
Yeah.
Who is travelling in cattle class?
I am agreeing with you, Rahul, but we have to understand
an exalted
from both the ends.
Of the species called VIP in this country.
No,
You're not talking about someone
I'm not supporting.
who comes from an ordinary person.
I'm not supporting that.
Why you are so much against police and
all the laws?
Take into account that the problem was from both the sides.
Let me tell you, 1 second. Mr. Chomar, 1 second.
In the hospitality industry,
Rahul,
people are trained.
You might be, hang on, the Shiv Sena is apologetic, you are apologetic, his lawyer is apologetic, you're apologetic, Shiv Sena is apologetic, but Gaikwad is not apologetic at all. In fact, he says, I should have thrown that guy off.
See, in the heat of the moment,
start from there.
He says,
but that
should start from there.
It should be a particular act of that particular person.
Rahul, it should start from there.
There are no excuses tonight. But I really sympathize with our MPs because they are caught in the horns of a dilemma. And the dilemma is this: if they start kicking out one individual because he has committed a crime and because he has a history sheet, they'll have to use the same yardstick to judge several others. At last count in the Lok Sabha, a fifth of MPs have serious criminal cases. These are not shoplifting, or lesser crimes like playing Romeo on the streets of Lucknow. These are serious crimes.
Exactly.
Serious crimes. And
Rahul,
these individuals should not have even been given a ticket. We leave it at that.
Parliamentarians.
Correct. No, I'm going to leave it at that because...
Of course, even this Mr. Ravindra Gaikwad must have done it. But
sir,
then there are
please,
other
Mr. Chomar, today you're a man of law. For God's sake, sir, you have also taken an oath at the bar for upholding...
Definitely.
Upholding jurisprudence.
Absolutely.
You know, sir, that the argument that you're making is a very, very selective one.
No, absolutely
and
not.
it is highly compromised. So I am not going to argue with you, sir. I rest my case as a small anchor. I rest my case. I just hope
and the assaulter for a good compromise. Let them have a nice chai.
No, there should be no compromise, sir, because the time for compromise got over when Mr. Gaikwad took off his slipper and started beating somebody. I'm sorry, that time has passed. That moment passed long back. We have Mr. Hussain Dalwai, an MP from the Rajya Sabha who has no problems. No problems. No, 1 second. By making Air India villain. No problems in that. Poor Air India, living off taxpayer money, decides to stand up for the taxpayer. And Mr. Chomar, let someone finish and conclude the show.
Let me add a very important point.
Let someone conclude the show. The last word has been said. Thank you very much. I'm being very upfront. We wrap up, we move out. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. We look at some of the other top stories on India Upfront. Is the crackdown on illegal slaughterhouses pragmatic policy or political populism aimed at trying to score brownie points with the BJP's core Hindutva voter? This question has assumed urgency after meat sellers across the state down shutters today to protest the CM's campaign to end criminality. Yes, Yogi Adityanath has decided to ban illegal slaughterhouses on various counts. But those that produce or are in the industry, the meat producing industry, are upset, they're enraged. The state government believes the criminality fuels the illegal slaughterhouse industry, which sparks communal tension and raises environmental and health concerns. Opposition has also backed the strike by meat producers by alleging that the state government is impoverishing one particular community. So, injecting this entire move with outright communal color, is this justified? Or is Yogi Adityanath upholding the letter of the law, a law that was set down by the NGT a few years ago, in fact, but never implemented? Let's just throw this open. Ghanshyam Tiwari of the Samajwadi Party with us, Dr. T.A. Rahmani, President, Muslim Political Council of India with us, as is Dr. Sudhanshu Trivedi, National Spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I want to begin first with Ghanshyam Tiwari. Ghanshyam Tiwari, political opportunism is your charge. Pragmatism is the BJP's defense. Why do you charge the BJP with communal polarization? Political pragmatism. Why?
Well, let me do some plain speaking and ask some questions. Is it not true that today in the parliament, Nirmala Sitharamanji, Union Minister, said that buffalo meat exports in India is 21,000 crore. Last year it was 26,000 crore. So this is a serious industry with serious employment and foreign currency implications. BJP has taken this industry and created a fear-mongering vigilantism environment around anti-slaughterhouse and anti-meat.
How?
This has resulted in loss of employment.
And
how? I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. By doing two things. Living with contradictions that Maharashtra has more slaughterhouses than Uttar Pradesh, but they are going around banning slaughterhouses in Uttar Pradesh. Living with contradictions, saying that in Northeast they are saying that, look, when we come to power in next 3 states in Northeast which are poll bound next year, we will not implement a UP style meat ban. So they live with these contradictions. And their final defense is that NGT has said so. NGT has also said, the same judge in NGT who gave that order also said on the same grounds, groundwater pollution as well as solid waste, it said to the railway ministry that anyone who's found doing open defecation on a railway track or throwing waste on railway track should be fined 5,000 rupees. How many people have they fined 5,000 rupees? None. The reality is that NGT offers a particular directive. The government operates in a way that the industry does not suffer, while the NGT's directives are adhered to.
40% OBC Hindus, excuse me, Dr. Tiwari, 1 second, you haven't answered my question, by the way. I only asked you how were they building a fear psychosis in your state. You pointed towards Maharashtra and the Northeast. So you haven't answered my question. Now tell me something. Did the NGT not say, and let me quote them, Uttar Pradesh, UPPCB, Nagarpalikas, corporations and all other public authorities shall fully ensure that no illegal and unauthorized slaughterhouses are permitted to operate? Do you know when they said this? May 2015, when you were firmly in the saddle, when Akhilesh Yadav was the chief minister, progressive chief minister by all accounts. This is what they said. Illegal slaughterhouses. Illegal extraction of water by slaughterhouses was a matter of concern for the NGT. May 12, 2015 is when the NGT observed that. Water pollution caused by illegal slaughterhouses was another reason. And they said that large quantities of untreated effluent contaminated with animal waste and blood in open drains, which ultimately enters tributaries of the Ganga and Yamuna, causing enormous water pollution, environmental degradation and safety hazards. The practice of throwing animal waste remains in public drains, causing water clogging, water pollution and diseases. Now tell me, sir, why didn't you, despite the NGT's order, implement this? I'm asking you this question. Do you believe people's health is a minor issue?
I responded to it. If we take the BJP formula to respond to NGT, then one should burn down all the factories that are along Ganga.
I am only asking you a specific question.
NGT has already
Why didn't you implement this order?
I'm responding to it. When a government is in charge, it has to look at an NGT directive, also look at an industry which is producing substantial employment and has substantial challenges of modernization. The
Regulate
NGT order
it.
came in the light of
Regulate
one,
it.
do not produce. Yes.
No, what is stopping you from
Regulate it, absolutely.
No, 1 second. What is stopping you from going ahead and regulating it, sir? Let me tell you, there are other body trafficking, child trafficking, women trafficking is an unregulated industry. Huge amount of profit. Okay. Should it not be banned? I'm asking you, sir.
Is the union minister talking about?
I'm asking you, sir.
Is the union?
Should it
minister
not
of
be
India,
banned? Are you saying illegality? No, hang on.
Is the union?
So people are living off the state, and because of doing that, they are living on the wrong side of the law, and by doing that, they're endangering public health, and this should be condoned because there are people employed in actually illicit work. Should that be condoned, sir? I'm asking you this question, Mr. Trivedi. It's a very important question.
So, let's
Dr.
extend that logic and say that everyone living in a house whose naksha is not approved should be raised down. Anyone who's walking on the right
they should
side
be
of the
made
road
to pay penalties,
should be put to jail.
demolish that structure in a law-abiding city. No, hang on. In a law-abiding country and a city, that would happen. It's just that there are hafta collectors who will go there, and perhaps some who are working under your government, sir, excuse me, who did not allow these slaughterhouses to be shut down so they could go every month and say, dekho, ye illegal hai, paisa do, hafta do hame. And we will not. Give us the bribe, we'll overlook it. So, that might also have been happening. So you were perpetuating an illegality and allowing people to profit from that illegality. Let me bring in Mr. Trivedi on this point. Mr. Trivedi, are you being communal or are you being pragmatic? Are you playing politics? Simple question. Let Mr. Trivedi come in.
Very quickly.
1 second, sir.
We cannot expect anything other than what they are saying with Samajwadi Party, because they want to always take a communal angle in any objective decision. Do you remember? This is the same government in which Akhilesh Yadav during the election campaign had said about the power theft. कि हमने बिजली चोरी करने से कभी रोका क्या? You remember Azam Khan has said, अरे कभी किसी ने आपसे बिजली का बिल मांगा हमारी सरकार के दौर में? So they were habitual in doing these type of things which were illegal, and they were giving a shelter of that. Same was the case with 2015 NGT regulation. If anybody who is not following the law, forget about in any business, whatever the business he is having, they have to follow a certain law. The government was not implementing that law since 2017. And as far as our government is concerned, our decision is categorically clear. We are only taking into consideration those who are illegal, not following the government guidelines. Those who are legal, they can go ahead with their business. But unnecessary, you are trying to give a communal color in that, which is your habit. Mr. Tiwari, I would like to ask, in Bihar, you are your allies, your JDU and Lalu Yadav's party is there. Previously, you were the spokesperson of that party. When you implemented prohibition in Bihar, you forget about legal and illegal. You have a blanket ban. Do you not consider by your own logic what will happen to those families who are having their livelihood and others, and they should be given an opportunity to have some alternative way? And here we are just saying those who are not following the law, they should be punished, and those who are abiding by the law properly, they are having no problem. Where is the problem in that?
Union minister in the parliament.
No, 1 second.
No, it's not the question of any state.
Mr. Tiwari,
every state is having a different rule of law.
On
different subject. We are strictly talking about Uttar Pradesh. As far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned, your government has not implemented the NGT order of 2015, like the Congress government has not implemented the Supreme Court directive of constituting a society on black money.
Gentlemen, one at a time, please.
This is a characteristic of you and your allies.
Okay, Mr. Tiwari, 1 second. Let me ask you a question. No, Mr. Tiwari, 1 second. Fine. You had a problem. Excuse me, Mr. Tiwari. Mr. Tiwari, 1 second. Please, gentlemen, 1 second. Mr. Tiwari, let me ask you a counter question. Fine. You were being compassionate when you did not implement the NGT order asking illegal slaughterhouses to be shut down. But so why did you permit the illegality in the first place? Why did illegal slaughterhouses and an industry that thrives off it come up in the first place? Were you so busy appeasing that you allowed people to come bend the law under your nose? Or were you perpetuating by tacit approval a Hafta system? I'm only asking you a question, sir, today. Direct, up front.
Sure. Rahul is a person who is accused of murdering somebody, engaged in an illegal activity. The answer is yes. And that person is now the chief minister. On TV channels, there was a person who came on TV channels and said this. She said she was a witness. So when you talk about
Mr.
illegality,
Tiwari,
look at
one
the
second.
gravity
What are you
of
talking? I'm asking you a simple question.
Your government has tried to put frivolous allegations on so many of our leaders.
I mean, here we talk
and
about
Yogi was also one of them.
No,
on which you are unable to prove anything.
Absolutely. You know, one second. This is a completely erroneous argument, sir. You're completely clouding this debate with innuendo, gossip, all sorts of rot. I'm sorry to say, you don't have a leg to stand on. I want to bring in, one second, I want to bring in Dr. T.R. Hemani. Dr. T.R. Hemani, how do you answer these questions? Because the NGT had made it clear a few years ago, ban illegal slaughterhouses because of the various reasons, and I've listed those reasons. Samajwadi Party turns a deaf ear, looks the other way. God alone knows why, because they're not answering me. Some people say because they wanted to perpetuate a Hafta racket. Some people say because they wanted to go into appeasement politics, because they would lose a vote bank if they did it. Now an individual comes, upholds the law, follows the NGT order, and is accused of playing communal and sectarian politics. Isn't it bizarre? So you can never clean up if a crime is committed. You have to allow it.
See, there is one very popular sentence in our society that law must take its own course. Well, the law must take its own course. And anything which is illegal, anything, irrespective of who is committing it, should be banned. But once it becomes selective and the other things are neglected,
how is
and
it
one
selective?
particular kind of an action has been indicated that only this is the you see, you are quoting the NGT report. And you have quoted that the Ganga and the Jamna has been polluted. There are the soil pollution, water pollution, air pollution, etc., etc. All through the animal waste. Is it true? Is it what the NGT has said?
No, this
the
is in
Ganga has been
specific
polluted.
connection.
What percentage of pollution is coming out of the animal waste? Can you quote?
Sir, one minute.
You quote what percentage of
Dr.
of animal waste
Hemani,
is?
let me tell you,
what
40%. No, 1 second. I'm on the issue of your being selective. No,
That's
1 second.
That's why. Number one. Now let me complete. I was silent. I was silent for such a long time. Now let me speak.
I'm only asking you a counter question because you're asking.
Illegal slaughterhouse must be banned. But the licensing, why you have stopped the process of licensing the slaughterhouses? Why the district level administration and the officers are not providing the licenses?
No, but why is this question only being asked to the Bharatiya Janata Party and not the Samajwadi Party, Dr. Hemani?
Without providing the
the problem has been created under the Samajwadi Party that allowed these abattoirs to come up, illegal abattoirs. Then, when the NGT passed an order, they did nothing about it.
Number two.
No, so why aren't you asking this question of the Samajwadi Party?
What the wedding parties?
No, sir, I'm asking you a question. Why aren't you asking this question of the Samajwadi Party?
I have no love with any Samajwadi Party or Congress.
So then,
I have no love with any Samajwadi, BSP, Congress or BJP, etc.
Why take on a party that is implementing the law?
Must not be done as far as the legality and the public health is concerned. Public health is above the politics and vote politics of anybody, any parties. That is the condemnable thing, and that's why we raise a question. If you are banning the slaughterhouse, fine. If they are illegal, fine. But why the police is going to the wedding parties, to the hotels, and to the kiosks just to arrest the people? If they are selling some cooked meal, is it producing any kind of pollution? This is a tactics of harassing the people.
Sir, 40%.
The police is going to the wedding party, to the small party, to the houses.
of those employed in this sector are Hindu OBCs. Excuse me, when you are talking about communal selectivism, the facts don't bear this out.
What is the data that you are using?
Hindus, Muslims are all employed in this. For God's sakes, it's all there. It's all there. It's all there. It's been approved by government. It's all there. One second, I want to bring in Mr. Trivedi here.
Did you have any check of those industrial pollution?
One second.
Industries in the Kanpur, in the Badoi, in so many.
It is absolutely shocking here that we are having a debate actually.
Playing caste.
No, we are having a debate actually on upholding criminality, illegality. Can you imagine? In the name of compassion. It is absolutely shocking. It is absolutely shocking. Tomorrow people will be stealing power and you'll say, oh, because you see it's so hot, let them do it because at least they'll have a fan. Where does this stop? Then you will say people should not be murdering people. You see, what can they do? They're so poor. They don't have something, so they murdered and got into someone's house. This is, sir.
Rahul, I want to remind you. Rahul, I want to remind you.
I'm sorry.
Why this is the
you should have acted. Samajwadi Party, you profited.
Why this is the first
There are many people who are saying that you might have even profited. 1 second. Mr. Trivedi comes in.
National channel. To respond to it, Rahul, on national channel, a senior journalist in Lucknow has said that UP Deputy Chief Minister, the people related to him, close to him, were running cow protectionism business and were only shutting down recently the slaughterhouses which did not pay levy. If you ask about levy, you should ask about the people related or close to UP Deputy Chief Minister, because it was on national TV. A senior journalist just told about this.
Abhishek, I just want to ask, do you have any data, any survey that how many of the slaughterhouses are illegal over there? How many meat shops are illegal and unlicensed? Do you have any data at your disposal?
Sir. Let me quote to you. In UP, the direct workforce is around 5 lakh. Let me tell you the data if you want to listen to it. If you allow me, I'll tell you the data. In UP, the direct workforce is around 5 lakhs. If we go into the distribution, around 25% are Qureshi Muslims, 40% OBC Hindus, and rest 35% from all castes and communities who look after managerial, accounting and engineering.
I'm asking about the unlicensed slaughterhouses.
Let me finish, sir.
I'm asking about
how can you have a number on illegal slaughterhouses?
Slaughterhouses.
Sir, how can anyone have a number on illegal slaughterhouses when they don't exist under the law? I mean, what an absurd question.
That is the responsibility of the government to get that data.
So which government? Should not the state government of Uttar Pradesh all these years have built up a database of illegal slaughterhouses? Why aren't you questioning the Samajwadi Party? I find you absolutely selective, purposely selective.
Yes.
Dr. Rahmani. Okay, 1 second. Mr. Trivedi, 3 charges.
The Samajwadi Party for
let me bring in the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Is
the Bharatiya Janata Party? 1 second.
It now.
Sir, किसी को और को भी जवाब देने दो, please, show पे. Dr. Trivedi, let me ask you a simple question. There are 2 questions to you. One is selective, that you're being selective, that many industries pollute the Ganga, they are not being shut down. Secondly, many industries pollute the environment, they are not being shut down, but only one in which 40% or 25% Muslim Qureshis are employed are being targeted because it is selective. And thirdly, most importantly, that you should be regulating this business, not banning it. Simply, sir. 3 responses.
Dr. Rahmani has unnecessarily extrapolated the issue, but still, I would make it very clear. He is not saying correct. We have not shut down the industry. We have not shut down any industry. We have not shut down this industry. We have only become specific or targeted towards the illegal aspect. Those who are not having license, who are not following guidelines, they are targeted, not the generalization. And one more thing,
has been closed
the communal angle and the corruption angle was there when the previous Akhilesh Yadav government has not implemented 2015 order because it was serving the dual purpose. The extortionists of Samajwadi Party, whether in the government or in the local level, were getting hafta from there. And they were also trying to have I was simply listening. Dr. Rahmani, when you were speaking, I have not interrupted. When you said, this is my humble submission that now you should listen to me. भाई कम्युनल एंगल भी इन्होंने तब दे दिया और जो इनके हफ्ता वसूली वाले समाजवादी पार्टी के लोग थे वो हफ्ता भी वसूल कर रहे थे तो द एलिगेशन which they are trying to put on us.
Okay.
Actually, they were having both the corruption and the communal angle in not implementing that order. And now they are trying to put allegation on us. अरे भाई हम तो ये कहना चाहेंगे
And the
देखिए
same,
fact of the matter ये है
now the same
जब ये
thing you
जो
are
आपने
doing.
राहुल कहा
Gentlemen, I need to wrap up this
40% are
debate.
from Hindu community,
There is a fine line.
35% on the
There is a
mix.
fine
I would
line.
like to put an
On
interesting
what
fact.
basis? On
अरे भाई
what
मेरी बात
basis?
नहीं सुनने
Without
दीजिए
any
जरा
survey,
मैंने बहुत देर
without
शांति
any
से सुन लिया आपकी
complaint,
बात
without any data,
देखिए साहब
without any
कंज्यूम
survey,
करने वालों में
the
तो
police
मेजॉरिटी
is going
हिंदुओं
to
की
the
थी
meat shop
इट हैज
and they are
नथिंग टू डू विद
arresting
एनी
people.
कम्युनिटी मैं आपसे पूछना चाहता हूं पुराने लखनऊ में जितने बिरयानी के ठेले वाले हैं उनका वीकली ऑफ किस दिन होता है इट इज ऑन ट्यूसडे because their major consumer are Hindus. So it has nothing to do with communal angle. It is your particular biased mindset which want to take each and every negation which is objective to the communal
What we are seeing here is a shameful negation of the law. Gentlemen, please, I need to wrap this up. I've run out of time today on India Upfront. I leave it at this. Gentlemen, pragmatic policy is being hijacked by political opportunism. We have a problem. Pragmatic policy is being hijacked by political opportunism. We have a problem. Someone needs to show the light. And unfortunately, some political parties who are leaping into politicize haven't still learned the lesson from the UP election. We leave it at that.
You have very rightly said that must have to be regulated.
We leave it at that, sir.
Nobody